Let me explain this quiz quickly, and I have a meeting in 15 minutes, so I have to leave. But anyway, this is open book, and you can see Quiz2 from the canvas, right? Go there, open it, and make sure you can actually see it. There's just one problem, and I'm giving you 15 hours. Right? I'm not kidding. I'm giving you 15 hours just for one problem. But if you submit your file by 10:30 a.m., just regular 1:30 hours, you'll get up to 100 points, no penalty. And if you submit it by 12 p.m., you'll get up to 90 points, so 10% penalty. By 1 p.m., 15% penalty. 2 p.m., 20% penalty. 3 p.m., 25% penalty. After that, 30% penalty. Okay? Until 11:59 p.m. tonight. Make sense? Is this grading structure clear? Anyone? No question about this grading structure?
No, Professor.
Okay. Again, if you submit your file by 10:30 a.m., 1 hour, 30 minutes, you get no penalty at all, right? No penalty, so you have potential up to 100 points, okay? And if you submit it twice or multiple times, I'll go with the last submission. So be careful. Be careful. Just last submission. So can you see this quiz from your Canvas account? Please check now. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, good. You can start now. It's fine. You have 15 hours, right? 15 hours. But let me explain the problem. There's only one problem. Plot the discharge probability curve of the data in the attached file. You can download this file. Click download, right? You can download it. We have done this before, right? Extracting stream flow. We have done this, right? Do you remember this exercise? Yeah, we have done this. I don't know when, but we have tried this. And you don't have to know what this means. You just follow these steps. Then you'll get the discharge probability curve. So let me explain what this curve is. Do we have everyone here? Well, if you come late, I'm sorry, but I'm going to share this recording, so it's fine. Where's this? Okay, 15. Okay, I think it's about 4. Yeah. 엄소용, 좋은 세상. Yeah, 1. Yeah, I don't memorize all the names, but I guess it's about right. But maybe iPad is 엄소용. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I think I have everyone here. But let me explain what this curve means using graph.
교수님 부르셨습니까?
누가 다 있나 지금 이름 확인했어요?
네, 알겠습니다.
오케이. 다 다 있는 것 같아요. 16, 16명인가? 아니, 검수에 항상 2번 로그인하는 게 토탈 몇 명이지? 16명, 15명, 15. 네. Okay, anyway, so we are doing probability curve here. So we have this graph. On the x-axis, you see discharge. Hard to write. Discharge, right? Discharge. And here you have probability. X, you have discharge. Probability is from 1 to 0. I mean 0 to 1. 0 to 1, right? And discharge is the minimum, from minimum discharge to the maximum discharge, of course. Now, if you plot this curve, you'll see something like this curve. See something like this. Why? So let me explain what this curve means. Okay. Now, for the x-axis, this is discharge, right? To plot this line, I mean this curve, to plot this curve, you need sorted discharges like this, right? From the minimum and maximum. If it's not sorted and you try to connect those dots, what did you see? If those discharges are not sorted, you'd see like a kind of random lines, right? Something like this, right? Because these points are not sorted. Make sense? If you connect all these unsorted points on this curve, you'll see all these lines connecting multiple dots in different, I mean, 2 dots in different places, right? So to have this smooth curve, you have to sort the discharges in the data file first. Okay? Is that clear? Let's say you have 3 data points, just 3, let's say you just have 3 discharges. And if this was the first line, if this was the first line, and if this was the second line, if this is third line, then you'd see, and if you connect all these dots in sequence, then you'd see this kind of line graph, all right? Make sense? In order, you are connecting these dots in the order, right? Make sense? You'd see something like this, because this is not sorted, right? And when you use matplotlib to plot this line graph, you'll see all these lines like this. But if you sort this quantity, now this is the largest data, largest discharge, this is middle. Now, once you sort it, the order of data will be, this is 2, this is last, because this data is now sorted, right? Now, if you connect these sorted discharges, now you'll see these lines, right? Make sense? Okay. No questions? Make sense? This is step 3. This is why we do step 3, sorting. Okay. We've tried steps 1 and 2 before. in class. So step 3, this is why we need sorting. We have to sort the discharges in order. So we have this smooth curve, not zigzaggy curves, right, between random 2 points, right? Okay, once you do this sorting, so going from this to that, index is step 2. Now, once you do that, starting from the smallest discharge, I'm still talking about this 3 data points example, okay? Starting from this smallest discharge, let's say this discharge is 120, and let's say this is 170, and this is 230. Say this is 230. Okay, makes sense. And these numbers are orders of data points. These numbers are actual data discharge numbers. Okay. Now, for each discharge from the smallest one is 120, right? 120. Count how many discharges are actually less than or equal to that discharge. For example, for first discharge or the smallest discharge, which is 120, count how many discharges are less than or equal to 120. What is the answer? What is the answer? What is the answer? When you have these 3 discharges, right? How many discharges are less than or equal to the minimum discharge? In this case. No answer? Okay. Well, only one, right? Because only 120 is less than or equal to 120. Only one. Okay. Now move to the next discharge, 170 now. How many discharges are less than or equal to 170? How many?
2 counts, Professor.
2, 120, 170, right? And move to the next one. And how many discharges are less than or equal to 230? 3, right? Now we have reached maximum discharge and we stop there. So in the count array, so this would be the sorted discharges array. Discharges array, right? Sorry, discharges array. Now, discharges array here. I'm talking about this discharges array in step 1. Okay, discharges array in step 1. Well, initially you'd have unsorted discharges, but you'd have to sort it, right? In step 3. All right, after step 3, your discharges must be sorted. Now, in the count array, you create count array in step 4. Create a count array in step 4. In count array, you'd have 1 in index 0, right? Because for 120, you have only 1 discharge that is less than or equal to 120. And for index 2, you would have 1, index 1. And for index 2, you would have 3. Make sense? Good? So this counting is done in step 5 and step 6. You repeat step 5, right? Step 6 is repeating step 5 until the largest discharge, right? So steps 5 and 6 will populate the count array. Count array. Good. Now you create probability array in step 8. In step 8, probability array in step 8. Now for each count, what you do is you do that count, in this case 1, and divide by the total count. What is the total count in this case? It's not 6. Here, total count means total number of discharges or the last count here, right? It's not 6. It's not 1 plus 2 plus 3. It's 3, okay? Because that's the total number of discharges, okay? So 1 divided by 3, which is something like this, right? And for the next probability, you do 2 divided by 3. And for the last one, 3 divided by 3, 1. Okay, once you are done, now what you do is take the discharges and put it in the x-axis, and take the probability, put it in the y-axis, plot it using the matplotlib plotting function. Questions? Clear? No questions? Okay, good.
Professor,
Yeah.
how many intervals should we do?
You don't have interval. You don't have interval. Did I have interval? It's the number of discharges, okay? We don't have interval. We are not doing histogram interval thing, right? You'll have as many data points as the number of lines in the data file.
Okay.
Of course, excluding the comment lines and header line, okay? Make sense? There's no interval thing here. There's no interval. We're not doing histogram. There's no interval, right? For each discount, discharge, you count how many discharges are less than or equal to that discharge, right? So there's no interval. For each discharge, you count number of discharges less than or equal to that discharge. Okay, clear? No intervals. We don't need any interval. Okay. Any questions? So I'm going to share this video. Once the recording is done, I'm going to share it in the regular folder thing. But I have a meeting at this point now. Actually, that's started already, but yeah. Was it clear? Now the grading scheme is like this, right? If you submit it in by 10:30, I get up to 100. By 12, up to 90. By 1, 95, and 5 less, and to 70 by midnight tonight. So you have 15 hours. Okay. And submit your file to this, but make sure you have your first and last name So I can just download all the files together at the same time, and then later I grade, right? So I need your name in your file submission. Okay, I need your name in the file name. First, last name underscore quiz2, right? Do that. First, last name underscore quiz2.py. Okay, good. And I may come back at 7:30 after the meeting to see if I still have anyone there in the meeting. So I'll be back to the same Zoom meeting at 7:30. I'll try to do that. And maybe I may stay like for another 10 minutes there for Q&As. Questions? Maybe I just do 11 a.m. Okay, 11 a.m. Let's do it. So by 11 a.m., you'll have up to 100 points. Let's do let's do extra bonus, right? Yeah, to be fair. 10:30 a.m. up to 100. How about this? Right? Good. So if you submit it by 10:30, you'll have 10 extra points, 10 bonus points. Okay, 11 a.m., 10 other points. Something like this. Okay, this is my grading structure. Okay, again, let me just quickly repeat all these steps. Okay, let's say you only have 3 lines in the data file, just 3 data points to make it simple, just 3 discharges, and the order is 121st and 231st. I mean 230 next and 170 last. Unsorted, basically, right? Data is unsorted. If you just connect those 3 data points in sequence, you'll see these 2 lines, right? From 1 to 2, 2 to 3 in order. These 1 to 3 are the orders of these discharges, not actual discharge amount. Okay, so I don't want this. I want this curve, right? To make that happen, you have to sort the discharge first, right? When you read in your data in sequence, you'd have 120, 230, and 170, right? Unsorted. Now, sorted, so you have 120 and 170 next, and 230 last, okay? You fix the order, you sort it, you sort discharges, and for each discharge from the smallest discharge, count how many discharges are actually less than or equal to that specific discharge. For example, for 120, you have only 1 discharge that is less than or equal to 120. And the next discharge, 170, for that you have 120 and 170. Those 2 discharges are less than or equal to 170. And for next one, 230, you have all these 3 discharges are less than or equal to 230. So you count those discharges and store those numbers in the count array 1, 2, and 3. And then you create a new array called probability and take each count and divide by the total number of discharges, which is 3 in this case, and you calculate the probability 0.333 0.6666 and 1, and take discharges and put it in the x-axis, take probability, put it in the y-axis, plot it, then you'd see this kind of curve at the end of this quiz. Okay, that's the goal. So drawing this curve is your ultimate goal, and following those steps is my suggestion. Okay, so you need to show me every single step. Don't just take any very sophisticated Python module and use that to do this. Don't do that. All right, I want to see you implement all these steps from scratch yourself. That's the goal. All right, I don't want you to take any simple Python module and just run one function and magically you have this curve and done, right? That's not this quiz, right? This quiz is to see your ability to build all these algorithms yourself from scratch, okay? And I think in class I've explained, or if not, I mean most, yeah, if not all, most of these steps here and there across different classes, right? But you'll be able to do this. You can do some R&D type of coding. You have a lot of time. Right? You have 15 hours. You have 15 hours, right? Open book. So, yep. Then see you again in an hour. I'll be back just for 10 minutes later. Okay. Thank you. Stay here. Yeah, stay here if you thinking you need my help. All right. And do your research. Do your research, right? Okay. I'll be back. Can I think I can stop sharing, stop recording. Stop recording.